If you want to get an A star in A-level economics, then you need to get all of those evaluation marks. Evaluation is worth more marks than any other assessment objective, and they are the hardest marks to get. This is how you are going to get them. My name's Tilly. I got almost 100% in A-level economics. I got one of the highest grades in the country, and I now study economics at LSE. This is the acronym you need to remember when you're writing your evaluative points. The acronym is Celesta. Let me explain what this is. So quite literally, a celesta is a 19th century harpsichord percussion type of instrument thing, but that's not what I'm talking about. Celesta is an acronym standing for contradict, elasticity, lags of time, expectations, scale, trade-off, and assumptions. Before I get into what these things mean, you basically need to look at the point you've made in your main sort of body, your knowledge, your application, your analysis, what has happened and why, and then look at this list of considerations from this acronym. What is the most applicable here to the situation, and most importantly, to the extract or piece of data or country you're working with? The first one, contradict. Straight up, just contradict what you've said. If it's applicable, you can say, even if aggregate demand shifts out, there will not be an increase in the price level because the economy is so under capacity. This is just an example. This is a direct contradiction of what you've just said. What makes this a good evaluative point is if you can use some data from the extract to really demonstrate this. Is there a fact or a figure that demonstrates that you are on the flat bit of the Keynesian aggregate supply curve? That's the contradict point. That's, I would say, the most basic. Elasticity, microeconomics, like just think microeconomics, think cigarettes, think demerit goods. Supply of cigarettes is going in. Government has started taxing cigarettes, so the supply will go in and less people will consume cigarettes, so there'll be less negative externalities. No, they're an incredibly inelastic good, so no matter how much the government taxes, fact of the matter is they're addictive, so you won't see that much of a shift in the actual consumption of these goods. Time lags or lags of time, hence L. Incredibly important when you're talking about policies, especially monetary policy. Key statistic for you, 18 months is the normal time lag between the implementation of a monetary policy. You see the impacts in approximately 18 months time. That's the usual statistic that they use. In this context, it's great to talk about time lags for any context, but just remember to apply this to the exact situation that is in the extract. Expectations, role of. Basically, if there is a policy that a government has implemented or that consumers have anticipated, is not going to have as huge an impact as if it was completely out of the blue. People have already started adjusting their behaviour. Impact is not going to be as large as it would have been if people didn't anticipate this. This is applicable to some situations and some not. You just really need to use that extract. I know I keep banging on about it, but essentially that is the thing that's going to take your evaluative point to 1 out of 2 to 2 out of 2. Scale of the change. Is it a big change? Like, how much is the government increasing tax by? Is it increasing tax by 0.1%? Is that going to have a huge impact? Tax on cigarettes is already something like 80-90% in this country. Will another 0.5% actually do anything? Trade-offs. What is being given up for this action to happen? So particularly important if you're talking about a firm. Assess the impact of increasing prices on this firm's revenue. What are you giving up by increasing prices? Like, you're giving up customers, that's just economics. You're having a lesser quantity. What are you giving up there? Where are you on the market structures diagram? What is happening to your profit? What is happening to your revenue? If it's increasing profit, what is happening with competitors? Like, what is the trade-off? The country starts implementing protectionism. What are they giving up? They're giving up their relations with other countries, and they're affecting their trade balance, their imports or exports, so international relations. Assumptions. Have we assumed something here? Have we assumed something about the country, about the firm? If so, then you can say, oh, well, you've assumed that the firm is in perfect competition. Might not be. So if the firm wasn't in perfect competition, then the impact could be different. We have assumed that the country has a trade surplus. If this assumption turns out to be not to be true, what is the impact? Talk about the assumptions that you've made. Make a hell of a lot of assumptions in second year economics. So at the end of the day, what I want you to take from this video is to remember the Celeste acronym. Also, just actually don't try and use every one of these. Don't worry if none of them fit into the evaluation. Just use it as like inspiration. Think, what could I pick apart from my argument? How can I effectively argue against myself? And how can I make it relevant to the extract? If you like this video and you want to see more A-level economics tips, then follow for more.